All right. Well, what is going on? It's another reaction video. Today is Christmas. Hope everyone is having a good Christmas day. Hopefully, you guys are spending it with your family. If not, well, I hope it's still good anyway. Uh, you might hear a little bit of phlegm because I've been sick for the past couple days. Um, I have been recovered really well. I'm not burning up as I was a few days ago, so I'm all good. Let's see what this video is about. Of course, this is Warframe: The Battle Pass Killer by, by, I can't say that. But let's go.
When I first heard that Warframe had
Okay.
introduced a battle pass, I felt disappointed. Warframe had always been a game you could fully enjoy without spending a
Mm,
dime, so the idea of a
I can understand that sentiment of being hesitant about Warframe having a battle pass.
battle pass didn't sit right with me at first. Then I learned that it was 100% free, which was a novelty
Yep,
for me at the time. I mean, what other
it's
game have you
awesome.
played has a completely free battle pass? Like, I'm not talking about a free version and a paid version, which is the usual model.
No,
I mean,
yeah, it's
everything in the
completely
battle
free.
pass is obtainable for free for everyone. That being said, how does a completely free battle pass fit into Warframe's monetization model? And more
Hmm.
importantly, how has it worked so well all these years?
It's a very fascinating thing, isn't it? That they took the step of the popular thing that's been going on in games for the past couple of years and they just made their own spin with it. And of course, them being themselves, they're just like, this is make it free, make it available for everyone. I do like that from DE so much. Nightwave.
On February 27, 2019, Nightwave was added to Warframe. This essentially served as Warframe's response to requests for a battle pass.
I
Nightwave
remember
is
this.
run by a mysterious host named Nora Knight. She acts akin to that of a radio host, giving you little snippets of dialogue when you visit the Nightwave segment in your orbiter.
Nora's got the goods for one lucky dreamer. Who's it gonna be?
Nightwave is sort of a type of syndicate,
Hmm.
meaning you can level it up by earning standing. Warframe syndicates typically operate on a standing system. Earn enough standing and you rank up. Nightwave, however, breaks this formula. When you reach 10,000 standing with Nightwave, you are automatically ranked up to the next tier. There is no daily standing cap for Nightwave either. There's
Yeah.
30 tiers total, with the exception of Intermission 2, which only had 15 for some reason. You can, however, continue.
Um. Yeah, they really. I don't think they really do intermissions too often. I believe, but yes, they do this, which. Mm, dude, I feel like there were moments where the intermissions do last quite a while, but I don't know. It's I haven't done too many of these.
Continue past tier 30. You'll be awarded credits for that volume for each tier you get after the max. You get standing by completing both daily and weekly missions, with the latter providing more overall standing. Keep in mind these are only to be completed once per week though. When you move to the
Yeah.
next tier, your standing resets back to 0 and the process repeats. If you miss a rotation of missions, you can still complete them, though you'll need to complete this week's missions first. After this, you'll, quote, recover them, allowing you to complete them and gain the standing from there.
That was one of the things I liked very much about Warframe how they did that is that they let you complete older challenges still because I'm pretty sure for others they don't really let you do that. If you miss said challenge or what the objective or said challenge, then you just completely miss it. But a Warframe is like, well, you can still get it, but you still have to complete it to quote recover that previous challenge, which I believe will still have the progress. Yeah, oh yeah, it does. It will still have the progress. It will still have the progress. So I think that's really good for them to do that. Hell, to even keep the tracking of the progression of said challenge, which I think is very nice.
The rewards vary across different seasons, called volumes. However, some of the recurring rewards include various arcanes, weapon
Hmm.
slots, cosmetics, Umber Forma, Stance Forma, Augment mods, Arcane Energize, and more. One of these in particular, Nightwave credits,
These are very great to have. I would say anyone who watches this to think is it worth doing the night wave at all, even though some of it takes a while, like it takes a long time to complete. I would say yes, 100%. It is 100% doing the night wave because not and of course all the things you get, the rewards you get during the during the higher the progression that you get, but also but also is the 19 extracts that you get, which I believe you don't even get those anymore. Those are incredibly worthwhile to have. So what is it, getting the Nightwave credits are absolutely worth getting. What is it, that's the reason why completing the battle pass or trying to complete levels in the battle pass is really worthwhile.
are especially important. These credits can purchase items from a shop that rotates weekly, and you can
Mm-hmm.
only use credits obtained during that volume for the shop. Credits from previous volumes can only be sold for actual credits or kept as mementos. Now that you know how
Yep,
Nightwave works,
that's
let's
true.
look back at how it all began and how it's changed over the years. Initially, Nightwave didn't actually have volumes, instead, it was divided into series. Series functioned very similarly to volumes,
Ah,
however, they
yes, yeah.
introduced new tasks that you could do alongside missions to gain standing. For example, in the first series, The Wolf of Saturn 6, you could capture new enemies known as Saturn 6 fugitives. Capturing 3 of these would yield 50 standing each. Then, in the second series, The Emissary, there were multiple enemies that you could defeat for standing. A few include the Zealot Heralds, Zealot Proselytizer, and the Zealot Baptizer. You get 50 for the first two and 200 for the Baptizer. The third series, titled
Mm.
Glassmaker, was about a rogue Cephalon who went by the same name, due to its manner of killing where it crystallized its victims into.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of remember the wolf one. However, I don't. I did do the glassmaker. The glassmaker I did like. But the other ones, yeah, I'll be honest with you. I feel like the early ones they did put more effort into, but I feel like in the later ones they kind of not really, because they were you could tell that they were really trying to really get you into the battle pass, the new battle pass system. But I think over time they were just like, just let people get rewards. Who really cares about like all the other story shit. I'm pretty sure that was the idea that happened later.
Glass. Players had to perform detective work through a new mechanic introduced with the update. New lines of work would be added with each episode for the series, and
Yeah.
when you complete one, you would earn 7,000 standing. These series were actually live events in a way. Basically, certain aspects of the update, such as new ways to get standing for the series, or properties of enemies in the series, changed as cinematics, referred to as episodes, were released. For
This
example,
is
the
true.
Wolf of
Yeah, it
Saturn
pretty much
6 is
was.
also an enemy, which can spawn in most missions, similar to assassins such as the Stalker.
I
Following
remember this
episode
one.
4, the wolf became sentient turned, similar to Corpus Amalgams, and gained a chance to drop a cosmetic for the operator. In between each series, there were mini volumes known as intermissions. Intermissions
Mm-hmm.
served as a buffer between series, which gave DE time to work on new content. They didn't really have a larger story and instead served as literal intermissions while still allowing players to get rewards. Sadly, after Series 3, they stopped making them altogether. They were replaced by new seasons known as volumes. These
Yeah.
volumes functioned identically to seasons in other games with battle passes. Volumes introduced new augment mods as well as containing largely the same rewards as series did. This is where well-loved mods such as Sentient Surge, which was in Volume 4, came from.
Oh my
The main
god,
difference
people want
being
that so
that they
much.
didn't have an involved story, omitting one of the most loved properties of Nightwave. Series had effectively been replaced by volumes indefinitely. Now, I never got a chance to play through any 3 of these series, although I wish I was able to. Series
Really? Oh, that's a shame. They were actually pretty cool. Um, I only really did Glassmaker more compared to the other ones. But yeah, you could definitely tell that between Glassmaker and the Wolf Hunter, or there was I think it's this Saturn Wolf. I think that's what it was. You could definitely tell that when they did those ones, and then after with the Noir volumes, you could definitely tell that it was more of like they just completely just dropped it, not because they just gave up on it. I think they just did it for like dev time and things like that, which is understandable. I mean, given DeViry's Paradox 1999, Man in the Wall or whatever that thing was called, it's understandable. Yeah.
seemed like such a cool way to keep players interested in the game, whilst also weaving the story into everyday
And I think
gameplay.
was
A Reddit
Noir
post
already
made
out
by
by
user
then?
Moza the
It might
Necromancer
have been.
expresses their discontent with the removal of Nightwave series. They state that, quote, they were amazing at fleshing out the Warframe universe and showing all the stories that are going on around us, often without Tenno ever being involved, unquote. Additionally, quote, It's such a shame that one of the best ways for boosting player engagement slash discussion, telling stories within the Warframe universe, and creating new objectives within missions was abandoned entirely. Unquote. Nightwave
I
series
wonder what
created
was
a
the
very
reason.
innovative way for players, both new and old, to enjoy the game. Players during this time weren't just playing for the rewards, there was another layer of enjoyment knowing that you were part of a game wide event that changed as the story progressed. Live events like this generate so much hype and engagement in the community and can give even the most endgame of players a reason to be excited about the game
Now, let's be honest. What is it? That collector's event was actually pretty dope. Let's be honest. That was really cool when that happened. I mean, there could be some naysayers that are like, "Ah, it's Fortnite. Who cares?" I'm like, bro, that was a dope ass event. You can't say no.
again. Even for those who didn't know much about Warframe's lore, or cared for that matter, it was a great way for them to get involved with the community and the game. So this begs the question, why did DE stop making series after the Glassmaker? Well, a comment left by Reddit user NasasTNC
Mm,
provides some insight. They explain how, quote, DE openly stated that full Nightwave was taking resources and manpower
there
away
you
from
go.
updates, probably made worse by Glassmaker starting to show a bit of feature creep. They had to prioritize with the limited resources they have. End quote. It turns out that making an entire story, multiple cinematics, live and frequent changes to the game, creating a new battle pass, etc., takes up a lot of time and resources. I mean, series were
Mm-hmm.
decently sized content updates, even if they weren't necessarily marketed as such, so it isn't that surprising in hindsight. Also, around the time Series 3 came out, they had already been working extremely hard on the new war, one of the biggest content updates by this point.
Oh,
Around
there
the
you
third
go.
series, they
Yeah.
started to realize that this system was too draining to develop alongside something like the new war. Also, players began to
There you go. The new war was also one of like the massive, like it was one of the massive updates that pretty much changed everything. It changed the entire thing on Warframe. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense why it makes sense why they kind of did that, especially for a new war. Yeah, 100%.
become disillusioned with some of the features that were added into everyday missions with these series. Initially, it was novel and interesting, but as they became more dragged out, however, it got old very quickly. Remember that series lasted for multiple months on end. They weren't just mini stories that were added into the game for a short period of time. For instance, Series 3 lasted from May 12th, 2020, all the way until January 24th,
Yeah.
2021.
Oh
That's
yeah.
8 months straight of the same event. All of these factors led to the unfortunate eventual removal of series. Volumes have been going on for a few years now, and we are currently on Nora's Volume 7, which began on September 3rd, 2024.
Yeah.
Despite Nightwave's complicated history throughout the years and the mix of negative and positive feedback it received, it still is absolutely one of the best ideas Warframe ever had. It's a reward track accessible to both players new and old. It adds onto the bulk of Warframe's weekly objectives, keeping people busy and giving them something to do in the game. It
I agree too. It is definitely much more better than I would say that it is more interesting than what it was before. I'll be honest with you. I feel like those intermissions and things like that were so brutal because they lasted so freaking long. I feel like you know what's crazy is that I still remember that I dropped the game for a while. I don't know, for like a few months. I came back. I was like, oh, the thing's still going on. That means I probably still have time to complete it, and I did end up probably ended up completing it or something. But I thought that there were times like that. It was crazy because I don't know. Having the battle pass last that long, 8 months, is insane, dude. This reminds me when Fortnite, back in, I think it was chapter two. Was it chapter two, season one, or was it season two? I don't remember the agent, the secret agent season, when they literally had the battle pass last for, I think, for a quarter of the year. I think it was the quarter of the year, almost 5 months, I believe, that it pushed that season because they had to do like an extended thing or something like that, extended event or whatever. And that was brutal at the time because they were including nothing new. Their player base was dropping big time. I still remember this. And so they were dropping, the player base was dropping like flies. And so they knew they had to do something big, which they did, with the new season and everything, because they really really needed it. But man, it was brutal. Just 4.5 months of just no addition. Like it was like a month and something, like a month and a half, almost 2 months or something like that, with no additional content or anything like that. So it's understandable why people would have gotten bored if they were really anticipating anything more of the night wave, especially for that long. That's a long time. But I'm glad that they pretty much completely scrapped the whole like intermissions and all the and the other thing, because it's just you know it. I think it's if it's something that's there and you just passively complete, great. If it, of course there are some things, there are some objectives that you could do for the night wave where it's just, that you have to do this one specific thing here, do this thing over there, complete these specific set of missions. And if these are the things you're gonna do over time, like through the week, then there's no problem. But if they try to do a glass make all the other stuff, especially how long that some of them would take, especially between from start to finish in terms of when the battle pass first started and how long it took for all for for it to finally end for the next one to start, it's just no, it's too much. It's too long. I couldn't do it. No, I'll be honest with you. I don't even think I was there at the beginning of Glassmaker. I probably jumped in like in the middle of it, and by the time when it was done, I was like, "All right, cool." I think, or maybe I was like at the end of it, but it lasted so long that I was just like, I was able to finish it. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It also provides some great rewards, namely Umberforma
Mm.
and various useful resources from the weekly shop. For
Yeah,
example, Nightwave provided a way to purchase Orkin reactors and catalysts without platinum, which are otherwise only obtainable for free from very rare events or circumstances. My personal experience with Nightwave has only been positive. The missions got me to explore parts
one
of the
hundred
game
percent.
I'd
Yeah,
never have been to otherwise. Like, I had no idea fucking Guitar Hero existed in Warframe. It's also always good fun to tell people who just
yeah,
started
dude, for
Warframe that
real.
their battle pass was free. The shock in their voice is representative of how monetized some other free to play games are. They juxtapose these awesome and cool rewards next to some that are complete and utter dog shit, and all you need to do to get those cool items is
Bro, dude, I'll be honest with you. I completely hate I hate games that do that where they're like, here's all this stuff you could get in the premium, but if you look at the free track, it's just like it's just like it's just a whole bar of nothing and one thing like at the end, like at the middle. I don't know, man. I hate things like that. It's just it kind it extremely pushes you into buying the battle pass, which I understand why, because that's what they want you to do. But man, they could at least try not making it extremely obvious.
the swipe of a credit card. And not only that, you still need to grind to get those items after you
Yep.
purchased it. Overall, Warframe gave us a refreshing new take on the Battle Pass model, while keeping it accessible to tons of different people and keeping it worthwhile despite its complicated history. The free model works by keeping players engaged in the game, increasing the likelihood someone will support the game by buying platinum, cosmetics, or something else.
Conclusion. My conclusion is, you know, it has it was certainly something when it started. But in the end, I think it ended up more better than than more better than it started, because yes, I do believe, as my early thought was, it was definitely pulling, manpower and time and development for, that that the stories that they wanted to do for the battle pass. Now, it's just there to be there. Sure. However, I think it is something good that a battle pass is there for you to complete, um, even though if you don't complete it, well, you don't really lose anything. You don't spend money on it. It's just there, free for you to complete. You complete it, cool. Here's some, here's his Umber Forma. If you don't complete it, well, what is it? Well, if you have any credits left over, you can go into your inventory and you could sell those remaining credits and remaining what is it, Nightwave credits into actual credits, depending how much. I don't know how much they give out. What is it per credit? But you could sell them into actual credits, and bam, there you go. You're all good to go. Um, but personally, for me, it started off great, and I think it ended off even better because not punishing the player by not completing the battle pass is a very good way to go. I'll be honest with you. One of the games that I didn't even finish the battle pass, which was Overwatch 2. I didn't complete Overwatch 2 battle pass because uh I didn't complete that one the last season. I think it was the Halloween one, or what they were having. I didn't complete that one because I was kind of bored of it, and two, um Marvel Rivals, was pretty much leaning around the corner, and then the everything that was happening for Warframe, was what would really sank my teeth in, and then there were some of the things that happened in Fortnite, and I think some other games too, and so. And now because me not 100% focusing on Fortnite and getting the and not getting the Discord kitten what is it title. Yes, that was a thing that happened. You can look it up if you don't believe me. um it was like a tier, it's like tier 140 or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but but because of that, for me not completing it, it punishes me for not, for not completing that battle pass. But at least for Warframe, if I don't complete it, well, guess what? I lose nothing. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh man, I could have completed it, but you know what? I didn't spend any money, and you know what? This new one, it looks like it has better rewards, or maybe it has some rewards that I like more than what it had in the other one, probably. And maybe this one I have more chance to complete it, and you know what, it has some simple challenges. Maybe I could focus on those simple challenges, especially with some of them could be pretty niche, and just get those out of the way, and bam, there you go, done. Simple like that. And so, yeah, let's see this guy's conclusion.
Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this synopsis of Nightwave's history. Sorry for the delay of this video. I got caught up working on another project before becoming burnt out and calling it quits. I may or may not revisit it, but you can see progress from my videos in my community tab. I post there regularly, so if you're wondering how the next video is doing, you can check it out there.
Mm.
And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.
Okay, that is good. You know what, man? I understand that feeling. Sometimes I even contemplate just doing videos. I get that feeling all the time, even though it's just good. It's yeah, even though it's just simple reactions, right? It's the simplest thing you can do as a content creator. Content creator. Um, it's a simple thing, but sometimes, man, I contemplate it. I'm just like, dude, I don't even. Sometimes for me, it's just like I don't even know what to even react to sometimes, because I'm just like, I just don't even know. Sometimes I find it difficult to see what is interesting. And it sucks because you know uh, there was some, I don't know what it is. Like there's some things that I'm like, oh, it's funny, laugh and things like that. But I'm just like, bro, I just don't find it funny. Or if it is funny, I just don't laugh. I'm just like, interesting, cool, or something like that. I don't know. I guess I just really have to comb through a library and things like that. But you know what? I have improved, over time. And sometimes when I do see videos, I'm like, you know what? This one looks good to react to, and this one looks good to what is it? To not react to. I've definitely reacted to videos where I'm like, bro, this video fucking sucks, and I've uploaded those. But yeah. Anyway, this is a great video. This is a great video by Finallin. Finallin. As soon as his name was, a put a like on that guy. He's good. This is a great synopsis and about the battle pass. Which honestly, you know what? If there could be more battle passes like this, and what's the crazy thing is that this is a free to play game, by the way. This is a free to play game by Warframe that does all this stuff. This is the free to play game, and somebody say, oh, what about all the other games are free to play? Bro, this is a free to play game as well. So all the other games, for people who want to make arguments for other say games, I'm like, well, the thing about it too is that this is too a free to play game. You don't need to spend money on Warframe at all to achieve any of this. You can't even spend money to progress forward on the Nightwave. I think that was that something that he might have mentioned? I don't know, maybe. You can't buy the battle pass. You can't even buy progress for the battle pass. Oops, I hit the bike. You can't even buy progress for it. And so it's like, what do you do there? What do you do? Oh my god, that was loud. Like, what do you do there? So it's like, I don't know. I think it rare. To me, it doesn't leave a whole lot of room of argument for other free to play games to say, we need to do a premium battle pass. It's like, well, this game doesn't, and it doesn't need the premium because it has everything else that it needs, to keep itself afloat. But I don't know. I don't know. Granted, there have been some cool things I've seen battle, some battle passes do, but I don't know. Maybe, maybe it's all just done for greediness. Who knows? But Warframe certainly does it right. As again, Warframe touches on something that what everyone else does, but they're like, hey, let's make it better. And you know what? They always, well, not always, but they always somehow make it better in the long run. Not everything they did better. Granted, I mean, what is it? They did PvP, and I'll be honest with you, who even does PvP? But anyway, this is going on for way too long. Thank you so much for watching. Was it? Check out this man's channel. Like and subscribe, and I'll check you guys out later. Have a good Christmas. Peace.